Hey guys, so I just wanted to hop on and share a dream with you guys. So I had a great tribulation dream about just a glimpse of the left behind and the soon judgments that are going to come on the earth. And this was a warning dream that I felt heavy on my heart to share. It was terrifying. I mean, I have never in my life had any kind of dream like this. And I would hate for anybody to have to experience this, or I would hate for anybody to be left behind. So I'm hoping and praying by sharing this video that somebody comes to Christ and devotes their life before the clock's up. So I'm gonna get into the dream. So in this dream, I was a mother and a wife. My family's on vacation. I had 4 children. I had a teenager. I had a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a toddler. My toddler was probably about 1.5 to 2 years old. And the dream started off where we were in a restaurant. I believe we were somewhere in the desert, definitely away from the coast. But I was super frustrated because I'd spent $7.99 on a chicken noodle soup that my toddler had refused to even take a bite of. And I was like, why in the world did I even buy this? Like, why do I take my kids to restaurants? This is a big waste of time and money and effort. And I was just so upset and frustrated. And then we had left the restaurant and we were on the road. I remember my husband was driving, my teenager was in the front seat, and the car that we were in was much too small for my family for some reason. There was 3 seats in the back and 4 of us. So the 8-year-old, the 10-year-old, the 2-year-old, and myself were all jammed in the back of that little compact car. And we were driving. I had the toddler on my lap. And as we were driving, we started to feel shaking under the car. And then everybody started to panic because the sky turned red and orange and dark, and asteroids by the hundreds began to fall from the sky. I mean, huge asteroids that were they were doing so much damage. It was just devastating. And if the asteroids weren't bad enough, the earthquakes were like 8.0, 9.0, like breaking the crust open, gnarly earthquakes. So we eventually had to get out of our car to avoid impact, and my husband had died and one of my children had died. I got separated from one of my children and I was stranded alone with my toddler. I didn't even have time to grieve for my husband or my child because it was like complete survival mode. It was go, move, or die. The earthquakes were just happening every single minute. It was like it was 1 minute off, 1 minute on, and it felt like just hours and hours, just nonstop going. And I finally run up to I see a house in the distance, or it looked like a house, but it was a really small hotel. And this hotel had definitely gone through some damage. I believe, like, I don't know if it's the earthquake or the asteroid that had hit it, but walls had completely fallen from this hotel. I mean, half the walls were up and half of them were down. Like, I could see completely through like what was left of the hotel from afar. But it was my only hope for anything, because I literally didn't have anything on me except for my toddler. And so I started running towards this hotel, and I saw in the sky there was two large gray black clouds, and I knew that they were tornado clouds that were about to swoop down, like, you know, but right before they drop, and they were like right next to each other. So I kind of panicked on that, and I was holding my toddler and I was on the run. And then I started to hear water, like raging water, and I was like, what? We're not even near the coast. Like, what in the world? And then I look behind me, and there's just massive wave coming towards me. And I don't know if it was like a dam that had broken or where this water was coming from. I was very confused in my dream. So I ran and I found this like rock, like really tall rock that I was able to stand behind, that was right on an edge, like a dip. So I hid behind this rock and I held my toddler, and the water just started coming on both sides of me down the dip, or down the plateau, or whatever it was. And so once the water had stopped, I had turned around and paused for a moment and looked back to the sky, hoping that maybe there would be a break from the asteroids. And there was not. I mean, as far as my eyes could see, on both ends of the horizon, there was asteroids everywhere. Some small in the distance, some very close, about to impact. So I immediately started running towards that hotel. And when I got to the hotel, I saw a couple, and the couple was breaking up. The man had wanted to stay and hide in the hotel, and the woman had gotten into a car. And then I remember being very shocked because I saw another man who had completely given up hope and knew that there was no escape from this disaster. And he was taking a bath with cucumbers on his eyes, like nothing was happening. And I was just like, what? So when I walked up to the hotel, I saw that there was nothing for me that could help me or my child. So I had grabbed a bassinet, and it was a handheld bassinet, kind of like what you would clip on to a stroller, that would fit, you know, a sleeping toddler. And I remember thinking, you know, she needs to sleep, and, you know, I can't hold her all the time. And so I had grabbed that, I put my toddler inside, and I started to walk away from the hotel, and then I had woke up. So I was really scared when I woke up from this dream, mainly because, you know, I knew this was coming, but it's different when you feel the fear and see the horror and terror that happens in this dream. I mean, it was just nothing like I had ever seen before, other than in the movie 2012, you know, and it just felt so real. But the thing that really disturbed me when I woke up, and I prayed on it because I knew this was a great tribulation dream. I mean, from the moment I woke up and in the dream, like, I knew it was the great tribulation. You know, I don't want anybody to have to go through that. Anyone that is left behind, if you're watching this after the rapture, my advice to you is this life and this world is lost for you, and it will, I mean, there is no hope for this life. So the only thing that you can do is give your life to Christ